In the dead of night, the small town of Hollow Creek lay in a state of eerie silence, long abandoned and forgotten. Once a bustling community, now only echoes of the past lingered in the empty streets. As the fog rolled in, the town seemed frozen in time, an ominous silence hanging in the air. It was here that Dr. Emily Shaw, a renowned paranormal researcher, arrived, drawn by whispers of a place where the fabric of reality had worn thin. Hollow Creek was a ghost town, but it held a dark secret, one that blurred the line between the living and the dead. Emily had heard the rumors, stories of entire families disappearing without a trace, leaving behind only cryptic messages and strange symbols scrawled on their walls. The local legend spoke of the void, a mysterious force that claimed the souls of those who ventured too close. The symbols seemed to form a pattern, an invitation to the other side. As Emily reviewed the old newspaper clippings and police reports, a sense of dread settled over her. She knew she was on the brink of uncovering something sinister, something that had eluded even the bravest investigators. The symbols were not just random, they were coordinates, guiding the way to an ancient and malevolent dimension. Determined to find the truth, Emily ventured into the most notorious house in Hollow Creek, where the last family had vanished. The air was thick with the scent of decay, and the floorboards groaned under her weight. As she set up her equipment, she felt an overwhelming sense of being watched. Shadows moved unnaturally, and a cold draft seemed to whisper secrets in her ear. Suddenly, the temperature plummeted, and the old house seemed to come alive with a sinister energy. Emily's breath was visible in the freezing air, and the whispers turned into soft, mournful wails. The walls seemed to pulse with a dark rhythm, as if the house itself was alive and aware of her presence. Following the strange symbols, Emily descended into the basement. The darkness was suffocating, and the air felt heavy with malevolence. In the center of the room, she found it the portal, a swirling vortex of shadows and light, pulsing with an otherworldly energy. The portal seemed to breathe, its edges writhing like living tendrils. It was as if the fabric of reality had been torn open, revealing a glimpse into another realm. As Emily approached, she felt an overwhelming pull, a beckoning from beyond. Her heart raced as she realized the portal was a gateway to the void, a realm where the laws of physics no longer applied, and reality itself seemed to be unraveling. As Emily explored deeper, she encountered a spectral figure restrained in an ancient chamber. The figure's eyes glowed with a haunting light, its form flickering in and out of existence. It was a tortured soul, bound by arcane chains and surrounded by glowing runes that pulsed with dark energy. The spirit spoke in fragmented whispers, revealing that the void was not just a dimension, but a sentient entity that consumed the essence of souls to sustain itself. The figure had once been a guardian of the realm, betrayed and imprisoned by its own kind for trying to seal the void away. Its pleas for freedom were desperate, hinting at a catastrophic fate for those trapped within the dimension. Emily realized the true extent of the horror she faced. The dimension was a cosmic predator, feeding on fear and despair. Against her better judgment, Emily stepped through the portal. She was thrust into a nightmarish landscape, a world twisted and corrupted by darkness. The ground was a shifting mass of shadows, with twisted trees and floating debris defying gravity. The sky above was a swirling maelstrom of black and red, as if reality was bleeding out. Ghostly figures drifted in the distance, their faces contorted in eternal agony, reaching out with gnarled hands. The air was thick with the stench of decay and the sound of mournful wails. Emily felt an intense pressure on her chest, as if the very air was squeezing the life out of her. This was the void, a place where time and space had no meaning, and the boundary between life and death was a thin, fragile veil. As Emily navigated this chaotic realm, she encountered bizarre anomalies that defied logic. Objects floated in midair, their shapes constantly shifting, and fragmented realities appeared and disappeared at random. A once familiar object, like a childhood toy, would morph into a grotesque, nightmarish version of itself. Time itself seemed to warp and stretch, with seconds feeling like hours and vice versa. In this surreal landscape, Emily struggled to maintain her sanity, her sense of reality slipping away with each passing moment. The anomalies were not random, but were manifestations of the void's will, designed to torment and disorient its victims. As Emily continued her search for an escape, she was pursued by dark, monstrous entities. Their forms were grotesque, shifting and flickering like dark smoke, with mouths full of razor-sharp teeth. They moved with a predatory grace, their limbs elongating and stretching in unnatural ways. Emily's breath quickened, and she could feel their gaze piercing through her. The creatures stalked her with an unsettling silence, their growls resonating with an ancient, primal fear. The ground trembled as they drew closer, their forms melting into the darkness. Emily could feel the icy grip of the void trying to pull her back, its malevolent force seeking to reclaim her. In a desperate attempt to find a way out, Emily stumbled upon an ancient figure cloaked in shadows. The figure's face was obscured, but its eyes burned with an otherworldly knowledge. It spoke in a voice that seemed to echo from the depths of the void, revealing the true nature of the void. It was not just a place, but a sentient entity, feeding on fear and despair, a cosmic predator that thrived on the souls it claimed. The figure explained that the portal had been opened by those who sought power beyond comprehension, and now the void sought to expand its reach. The missing people were not lost, they had become part of the void, their souls forever entwined with the darkness. Emily realized the gravity of her situation. If she didn't escape, she too would become one of the countless lost souls, trapped for eternity in the endless torment of the void. As Emily's time in the void grew longer, she witnessed the dimension itself beginning to collapse. Massive fissures opened up in the ground, and chunks of the nightmarish landscape broke apart, revealing the nothingness beyond. The sky darkened, and the air crackled with a malevolent energy. The entire realm seemed to be tearing itself apart, a chaotic and apocalyptic collapse driven by the void's hunger for more souls. Emily knew she had to escape quickly, before the dimension consumed itself entirely and trapped her forever. With newfound urgency, Emily raced towards the closing portal, the only escape from this hellish dimension. The keepers pursued her relentlessly, their forms becoming more grotesque and terrifying as they closed in. As the portal's light grew dimmer, Emily pushed herself to the limit, her heart pounding with every step. She could hear the distant cries of trapped souls, their voices echoing in her mind. As she leapt through the portal, she felt a final, searing pain, a last attempt by the void to pull her back. She emerged into the basement of the abandoned house, gasping for breath, as the portal sealed behind her, leaving only a chilling silence in its wake. Emily stumbled out of the basement, the portal now a mere memory of the horror she had witnessed. The house was eerily quiet, but the feeling of being watched lingered. The horrors of the void had left a permanent mark on her soul. As she left Hollow Creek, she couldn't shake the feeling that the void's hunger had not been sated. The darkness she had encountered was just the beginning, and its reach was far greater than she could have ever imagined. The echoes of the void would haunt her dreams, a reminder of the night she ventured into the heart of cosmic darkness. What would you do if you found yourself in the void? Share your thoughts in the comments and join the conversation. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more chilling